Yesterday, the rugby league world was rocked by the news of the passing of legendary Kiwis player Olsen Filipaina, who at the age of 64 passed away in Westmead Hospital as a result of kidney failure. The news was shared to a Facebook page by Auckland Councillor Alf Filipaina, who joins us now on Pacific Days for more. Malo soifua, Alf, and firstly, our deepest and condolences to you and the family at this time.
Tala for Brian and Whaftai Lover, and just want to acknowledge all our listeners out there. So, yeah, thank you so much.
Alf, how are you and the family doing at the moment?
No, good. We're now trying to, at least I am, trying to get the brother back, our brother, from Sydney and back home, and then to travel up north to be with our mum and our younger brother, plus all the rest of our whānau up there, our ainga. So yeah, that's what we're hoping to do, and hopefully that'll get sorted out sooner than later, Brian.
Obviously in times like this, you know, and especially being separated physically, but I understand in the final moments for Olsen that family and friends were able to connect online, digitally, Councillor.
Yeah, we did, which we wanted to, because the family members who did wanted to at least be there when Olsen passed, and we were. So, you know, for us it was just being there and obviously gave our blessing for Olsen to go to our Heavenly Father. So he's now with our Heavenly Father, but more importantly, I think, is with Mum, Dad, and the rest of the whānau.
Alf, when we look at the larger than life figure that Olsen was, you know, and the legend that he was, of course, firstly for, you know, the Mangere East Hawks, the escapades, you know, for the Auckland team, as well as New Zealand on the global stage, you know, we saw this larger than life figure and all the, you know, the great things that he accomplished as a player. But for you, as his brother and behind the scenes as family, what was he like?
No, he used to lie when we used to beat him in tennis. He used to tell everybody nobody beat him, but I know that some of the brothers and myself did. But he used to lie about it. That's what he was like. So he used to also use us as his tackling bags, because he used to tell us when we were growing up in Sutton Park Primary, we used to go over there and he goes, "Hey, you fellas try and tackle me." So every time we did, we ended up on our back looking at the sky. So that's the way he wanted with us. But I think what's endearing to us is the fact that he was a humble man. He was very, very talented, but he was a humble man. He had a lot of time for our ainga. I know that playing for Mangere East, for Auckland, for the Tigers, for Eastern Suburbs, for the Bears at North Sydney, and even right eastward. And there was another place he played at, which was Burrell. You know, I know that for him, one of the highlights was playing for Western Samoa in the Pacific Cup in 1988, I think, and he was the player of the tournament. So he then, from his perspective anyway, telling us that he represented Mum and Dad. And that was really part of how proud he was of doing that, was representing Mum and Dad, Māori and Samoan.
Come on, and even at the ripe old age of 33, teaming up with his former teammate there, Clayton Friend, to, win the grand final in the inaugural Metropolitan Cup. Man, amazing. You know, the pride, when you talk about the pride, I'm not sure if you, I'm pretty sure you were there in 1985, Carlaw Park, 18-0 against the Australians, you know, the unbeaten, the invincibles, as it were, back then. But for you, as a brother, watching your older brother, you know, play and dominate the world's very best players over such a long period of time. How was it for you and the family, Alf?
Well, look, I can tell you that the whole family and we were just so proud, not only of Olsen, but the whole team and the coach. Honestly, we were, because the brothers were at the game watching the 18-0. But we were just so proud of Olsen, but proud of all the Kiwis, proud of just the whole coaching staff. And I remember Olsen when he was telling us about that, and just before the game, one of their training sessions, and they walked down Queen Street. He didn't know, the whole team didn't know. And when he mentioned it, he cried, because he just felt really proud of what Sir Graham Lowe did by telling them to get off the bus and walk Queen Street. He cried, and he was telling me and telling one of the other boys that he cried when that happened, because everybody in Auckland and Queen Street were just so proud of them after the second test and the last minute loss. But you know, so much pride, and again for him, man, it was just, seeing him cry was really good. He's a humble man, my brother.
Finally, Alf, for you, when you look back, what would be your most endearing memory of your beloved brother Olsen, and legacy, or just what he meant to so many people, especially in his beloved home patch of Mangere East, and of course over in East Ryde there in Sydney as well.
Well, for me is how much he ended up acknowledging Sir Peter Leach. Olsen ended up presenting him with a trophy, just to say, Peter, thank you so much. Peter was a part of the family, so Olsen recognising that was really, for me, remembering that and how much Peter had done. But for him, there's one thing that he is always grateful for. When he went over there in 1980, were two people that looked after him, and that was Phil and Margaret Dryers. They looked after him as if Olsen was their son when him and his partner went over there in 1980. So those are the two people, apart from family, but those are the two people he was always talking about, Phil and Margaret, but Sir Peter Leach. And that's really what I know. He acknowledges other people because he's so humble. And Brian, thank you so much for the opportunity. And yeah, for love.
Auckland City Councillor Alf Philippaina, to you and the family again, condolences, loto tele, alofa tele atu, and God bless. Thank you.
Love.
It's